is thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
Somebody say hallelujah, glory, glory, hallelujah. Well, look at me. It's the radical extremist, Ted Nugent. How dare I experiment in self-government? What do I think? I'm a gift from God or something? You think God gave me the gift of life and I'm supposed to use it to the best of my ability, accumulating knowledge, information, and evidence to support my belief system so that I stand up for the same thing the founding fathers did and the king can kiss my flame-throwing three ass? Did you hear me? The kings and the emperors and the despots and the tyrants and the Führers and the corrupt punks in the world who think they control my life, they can't control my life. My name is Ted Nugent. I am the middle finger of life. And I've been an activist all my life because they started attacking me because I eat venison and carry a gun. Well, conservation and self-defense are two of the most perfect things a person can do. And when people would attack me for carrying a gun because I believe my gift of life is not only my responsibility to defend, but an instinctual moral obligation to defend my gift of life, especially in the world of engineered recidivism, where our failed anti-justice court system, you know, the Supreme Court justice who won't tell you what a woman is, and she appears to be a woman. She's a Supreme Court justice. Not in my world. You can't be a justice or supreme anything unless you can tell me what a woman is. Oy vey. Anyhow, so I love people who stand up for what they believe in. Last year, after October 7th, where these monster demonic jihadist animals, these freaks, these devils, attacked innocent families over there in Israel. And when I see people standing up for the victims of evil, especially young people like my guest right here, I have a great Dr. Rosenberg. Dr. Matt Rosenberg is my buddy, and his son Nathan Rosenberg decided to stand up and give the middle finger to evil. Nathan, thank you for joining the Spirit Campfire. So you go to the University of Michigan, you see the upkick of anti-Semitism, and as a young Jewish warrior went, I don't think so. So you created a movement to counterpunch the evil of anti-Semitism. God bless you, son. Welcome to the Spirit Campfire. You, sir, deserve me.
Wow. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Ted. It's such an honor to be speaking with you. And I think you said it appropriately. The fact of the matter is we're standing up for what's right. We're standing up for American values. And right now, the world is crying. The world is seeing an extent of evil that we haven't seen in so long, since the Holocaust occurring in Israel. And what happens after? In the United States, anti-Semitism is on the rise. It's far larger than it's ever been since the Holocaust, and we need to stand up. And I've garnered a pretty awesome movement through an app called Campus. And this app, Campus United, is something that I really hope to garner a lot of support, not only from you, but from a lot of people and a lot of listeners in the show.
Well, that's great. We're going to put that website. It's a website, Campus. Say the name of it again.
The app is called Campus United. It's on the App Store. It's on the Android store, all of the above.
It's an app, Campus United. Well, you know, just the term Campus United, the campuses are supposed to be institutions of learning where we take the truth, logic, and common sense and the evidence to support self-evident truth, logic, and common sense, studying history, making sure we don't repeat horrible situations that mankind has always manipulated and forced upon victims. So how old are you, Nathan? And where did this piss and vinegar come from that you decided, instead of just going, gosh, that isn't right, well, let's order a latte? No, gosh, that isn't right. We're going to fight against stuff that isn't right. God bless you. How old are you, and where did that impetus? Did your dad, Dr. Matt, have something to do with kicking you in the ass and saying, hey, son, Nathan, be sure you stand up for what you believe in, kid?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm 22 years old, and certainly my dad has played a very significant role in helping to shape me and my hatred of anti-Semitism and my understanding of it. And while I didn't grow up with the most religious background, I did grow up with this very robust understanding of the anti-Semitism and the non sequitur nature of it. And a little bit of background to my aspirations and the reason that I'm getting involved in this movement and getting involved in this fight is because I saw what was going on campus. My last year at the University of Michigan was one full of hate. My little sister was on campus. Names were called that are, and I just couldn't bear that. I couldn't bear the fact that my little sister, a freshman at the University of Michigan, was having to deal with this environment of hate. And so prior to October 7th, I was actually working on a health tech startup, a digital assessment for monitoring early stage Alzheimer's dementia. And so I was very excited about the idea of entrepreneurship. And come October 7th, I wanted to approach the fight against anti-Semitism systemically. While I saw these amazing student leaders speaking up, becoming loud, raising their voice, I wanted to empower them. I wanted to do whatever I could and develop a business infrastructure to really approach this problem and fight anti-Semitism head on through the voice of the student leaders on campuses. And so this was really the context for this app. And thank God it's been able to grow, and I've been able to garner a lot of amazing and powerful networks around it. While we haven't fully rolled out the app yet, it's on the app stores, and we're planning a very large scale rollout come the next couple of weeks. And the idea is to garner student involvement, reporting anti-Semitism, reporting instances of the toxicity of DEI on campuses. When we hear a mention of Israel performing genocide, something like this in the classroom, we need to expose it. We need to foundationally expose this. And thank God we have the help of the current legislation that's going to allow us to really expose this. And we need to be loud. It's not just about getting rid of anti-Semitism, getting rid of DEI. It's about going out with a bang. It's about destroying it in its place. It's about creating an environment so that this can't happen again in the future.
Well, listen to you, young Nathan Rosenberg, 22 years old, fire and brimstone for good over evil. And really, that's what you represent. I'm sure that your instincts, somehow, God bless your parents for raising someone to respond and respect your instincts of good. All of our instincts are good over evil. But the apathy that we witnessed that allowed the Holocaust to happen, the apathy that we witnessed wherever evil overcomes good, the good were too silent. So what you're doing, literally, there's a biblical quote my wife Shemaine says all the time, that we were created for times such as this. And you, son, are responding to conditions that are inescapable unless someone is so weak and so apathetic that instead of taking on evil and correcting it, they turn their back and allow it to happen. Have you found that you have seen a willingness in your peer group and the people your age, especially on the campus of the University of Michigan, and in your own life on an everyday basis? Have you seen people your age, and it doesn't matter whether you're Jewish or what religion you are, all people have an instinct to stand up for good over evil. That's what the founding fathers did. That's why we had the First Amendment. You can choose our own religion because good people, regardless of your belief system, should always stand up for good over evil. Do you see that there's support and that there's a willingness and actually an enthusiasm? You're showing enthusiasm. I have enthusiasm. Life can be determined, happiness, quality of life can be determined by one's enthusiasms. Are you seeing a widespread enthusiasm, or do you have to kind of crowbar these people and go, come on, give me a hand here. You got to stop this kind of evil movement. Are you seeing a willingness and an enthusiasm in people your age?
Yeah. So there's this idea in Judaism called the neshama. And the neshama is the soul's attachment to God. And I've seen so many people's neshamas, even if they're not related to the Judaism, if they're not related to the religious side of it, I'm seeing them attached to this oneness of the Jewish people, this aspiration to fight and rise up against hate. It's something beautiful. It's something we don't understand what's going on. Frankly, I think God's making this connection. Ted, I want to tell you a story. So right before October 7th in August, I was in Israel with my family for the first time. It was the first time any of us had gone, and it was just a normal trip. No, intended experiences there. But near the end of the trip, I was in my hotel room. My parents were gone at the pool, and I had a revelation. I think of it now as an epiphany. It really felt something extremely prophetic, and it was this vision of anti-Semitism. It was this understanding that something as evil and as terrible and as so deeply malicious as the Holocaust, there had to be some orchestration of the goodness to rise from it, and to look around and to see the Israelis and to see the Jewish people that had come from the worst time in history for the Jewish people in modern times. And they had stood up and they had become strong and proud and became a nation of Israel not long after. And to see that is to see God's love and God's empathy and God's aspiration for growth. And when I saw that, I was non-religious before. I really wasn't religious. I wasn't connected. It was a moment. It was a literal binary moment for me that changed my entire life. All of a sudden, I just started lunging at the Torah. I started lunging at God. And this was before October 7th. And so I was just growing in my Judaism. And then October 7th happened. And I was like, what's going on? I can't understand it. And very shortly after, I had a meeting, a very powerful meeting with a mentor of mine. And I realized that I was given this prophecy, this understanding of anti-Semitism for a reason. And so I said, you know what? This is a God-given gift. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to create a network. I'm going to create an initiative. I'm going to fight against anti-Semitism, and I'm going to work to unify Jews, allies, everyone across the United States, and expand to the world.
Well, Nathan, you get, I give out a very special award. It's called the Swinging Tyrannus Rex Scrotum of Truth, Logic, and Common Sense Award. You get one of those because it takes, in this day and age, as inspired as you were instinctually when you were in Israel, and then October 7th happened with a horrific reminder of the Holocaust. You're literally doing God's work. I'm going to introduce you to a great, great Jewish woman in Detroit, Lena Epstein, who's also a warrior to make sure that never happens again. But Nathan, God bless you and your family. Thanks for coming on and letting people know that even a young man who might have other things on his mind can identify the importance of being a warrior for good in the presence of runaway evil. So Nathan Rosenberg, God bless you. God bless you and your family. And I'll see you here again soon. I'll be right back with more Spirit Campfire on Real America's Voice.